So this popped up on my TV downstairs. I mean, I was gonna watch this regardless of anything. So I figured I might as well be here with y'all. You know what I mean? It's been a minute since we watched the Jimmy boy. Jimmy. Hold on, the girl of my dreams is texting me. Never mind, it's my friend. Let's get it started.
It didn't go our way. I don't know how many different ways to say it, but it was a special year, all things considered. And a new experience for me, Draymond Loon. Tried to make the most of it. Come back, bottle this up, everybody make the right strides, take advantage of the summer, and you don't want to see us next year.
That'll do it. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world. The fourth title in 8 years. The Dubs dynasty is still very much alive.
He called it. Against all odds, the Warriors are now the 2022 NBA champions. Somehow, this team that was dead in the water just 2 seasons ago has been crowned NBA champions. But this team had no business even being here in the first place. This Warriors team was never...
But can we really say dead in the water, though? That's a narrative that the Warriors fan base and media is really pushing, and I just don't know if it's accurate. Clay was never off the team. Curry was never off the team. Draymond was never... Correct me if I'm wrong, but they've always been on the Warriors, right? So because people got injured or whatever, I think we're reaching a tad bit. I'm also a hater. A well-known, well-documented hater. You know? So, I might be a little biased. Let's keep going.
A roster full of has-beens and fringe players making a run at a championship? It's impossible. Well, at least it should have been impossible.
Who's French?
But they've got Stephen Curry. And as I was watching Steph completely dismantle the Boston Celtics on their home court to close out the finals, I thought to myself, I'll more than likely never see another player like this in my lifetime. What Steph is doing cannot be duplicated or repeated. He is truly a one of one. And I think it's time we take a closer look at where he ranks among the greatest players to ever play this game. Because the Warriors should have never won this championship. Today's video is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a ticketing app that makes...
Okay, so this isn't nearly as negative as I wanted it to be. Yeah, this isn't nearly as negative as I wanted it to be. So this is actually kind of frustrating. I got... Oh, man. I wonder how many Warriors haters clicked on this thinking it was going to be Warrior hate. And instead it's ranking Steph Curry on the top of the list. Now I have 2 decisions I can make here. One, I could turn this off and not upload it and just act like this never happened. 2, I could sit here, probably tap the backboard a few more times, and try and make it through this. It's just been so much Warriors positivity. I was ready for some negativity, you know, and it's more positivity. That's really all it is, and I just didn't know that. Oh, man.
There's a new dynasty in the NBA. The Golden State Warriors champions once again, back-to-back titles, 3 in 4 years, and the latest with a sweep.
Do y'all remember exactly where you were and how you felt when this happened? I do. I vividly remember watching the Warriors dismantle the NBA year after year on their way to an all but certain championship. I remember sitting idly by as my favorite player was getting walked out of the building in the finals. It was inevitable, and it felt perpetual, like the reign of the Golden State Warriors was never going to end, and I would spend the rest of my days watching this unbeatable, unstoppable Goliath of a basketball team make quick work of every single organization that stood in their way. I felt hopeless. The Warriors pushed me to the brink of insanity, and it was never going to end. Or, at least, that's what I thought.
Ibaka trying to stay with Durant, knocks it away, and Durant slipping. Durant goes down, holding his leg. Thompson running the floor, and a foul. And Thompson grabs his left knee.
Past the big end, he pulls out on the shooting hand side.
Steph Curry with a lot of contact.
I'm such a hater. Y'all want to know what I'm thinking as I'm watching this or no? Y'all don't want to know what I'm thinking. Because it's some hate. I'm sitting here thinking like, man, them little baby ass injuries, man. Sorry, come on, man. What? Look at him.
He's holding that left wrist.
And that was it. A 5-year run, cementing their spot as one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history, all came crumbling down in a matter of moments. Goliath had fallen, and for the first time in half a decade, the door was open for other teams to win it all. The Raptors won their first championship in franchise history, the Bucks won their first championship in half a century, and the Lakers were crowned champions for the first time in a decade. The dragon had been slayed, and I could now rest knowing the Golden State dynasty was behind us.
It was a fun time. It was a fun time.
6 NBA Finals in 8 years, 4 NBA championships, a remarkable run by any measure that only a handful of teams.
For that, what was that, a season and a half?
Congratulations, you are the 20.
Yeah, it was fun for that one season or two.
I couldn't have been more wrong. Because somehow, despite injuries and roster changes and ups and downs and everything in between, the Warriors are champions once again. We said they were getting too old. We said they were too injury prone. We said the roster looked like a G League team. We said they couldn't win without Kevin Durant. And they proved us all wrong. Just last season, if you told me the Warriors were going to win another championship, let alone a championship this season, I would have checked you into a mental institution. They went from one of the best teams in the history of the NBA to the worst team in the NBA to champions again in record time. Just take a moment to appreciate this roster that defied all odds and became champions. Out of the 14 players that suited up in the...
Y'all want to deride Curry. I mean, and again, I got nothing. I got to come with the hate to offset all of this. You know what I'm saying? I have to. I'm sorry. I have to. If I'm gonna watch this is what it's going to be. If I'm gonna get duped into watching something that I thought was negativity is really positivity, then I gotta come with it. Now, this is what I have to say. Warriors fans are so hype right now, right? But you know what I remember that he's not gonna bring up, but I'm gonna bring it up. You know what I remember? I remember Curry having to try and go out there by himself when everybody was injured, and he looked garbage, and somebody fell down on his hand, and he could have came back, but because he looked so garbage those few weeks before he hurt his hand, he took the whole goddamn season off. Whole season off like a scrub. Like a scrub. That alone is why he will never be better than LeBron. Just off that alone. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Don't nobody want to talk about that. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You think Kobe would have did that? You think Brian would have did that? Took the whole year off when he could have came back because he didn't want to face the squad. Because he was doing shoot-arounds too. Y'all remember that, right? He was shooting. There was clips. He was good. Y'all don't want to talk about it, man. I know. Nah, I get it.
6 of them had 0 playoff experience. Instead of seeking out the brightest stars around the league, the Warriors went and acquired players that fit within their system and maxed out their potential. They found value in guys like Gary Payton Jr. and Otto Porter Jr. They saw immense utility in guys like Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole and gave them a chance to shine on the biggest stage. Even Andre Iguodala, the oldest player in the entire NBA, played a crucial role as a mentor and a leader for the Warriors throughout the playoffs. This was a masterclass on coaching, adjustments, and players buying into their role and maximizing their impact on the game. The catalyst of this improbable run, the once-in-a-lifetime talent of Stephen Curry. Before this year's playoffs, we were asked who had the most to prove and whose legacy would be altered the most with the championship. I thought maybe Chris Paul, Giannis, James Harden, maybe even Luka Doncic. But the answer all along was Stephen Curry. Because now that he has a long-awaited, well-deserved Finals MVP, the man has done it all. 4 championships, 2 MVPs, 8 All-NBA teams, 8 All-Star appearances, 2 scoring titles, an All-Star MVP, most three-pointers in NBA history, and a Finals MVP. One of the greatest careers the NBA has ever seen. And at 34 years old, he is still as incredible as ever.
And a dunk
season. We have an unhealthy obsession with all-time rankings, moving players around on our all-time list every other week like some sort of sick game of musical chairs. But if we're going to be honest with ourselves, I think we can all agree that there are a handful of players that remain a step above everyone else. And these are those players. Now, where you choose to rank these players will be different depending on who you ask. Personally, I have them ranked like this. Now,
it's not a bad list. I'm not going to comment on it because I have my video coming out. This is what I'll tell you. I'm doing the top 50 through 25. I'm doing the top 25 through number 1. And then I'm doing the top 20 all time. This is not a bad list. There's definitely some things that I feel like are a little... I'm giving stuff more of an eye test than a stat test. But I'm not mad at this list. I'm not mad at it.
Has virtually remained the same for years. The most recent player to be on this list was LeBron James, who's been on it for about a decade now. And before him, the most recent players to join this exclusive club were Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. Regardless of where you choose to rank these players among your all-time top 10, the players that make up this top 10 haven't budged in over a decade. Recently, I was tempted to add Kevin Durant to this list, but realistically, I couldn't bring myself to remove anyone in his place, so he remains on the outside looking in. But after this championship run by Stephen Curry and his entire season as a whole, the time has come. It's time we add a new player to this list. It's been a long time coming, and it's well deserved. Stephen Curry is now undebatably
Before I walk off, I just want to say this is not at all what I was expecting when I clicked on this video. All right, this is what I'm going to say. Jimmy, I love you. I was one of the first people to ever react to your shit. I remember when you had literally no subscribers, and now you have more than me. I love you. Right? I got a lot of respect for you. Your shit's going crazy. I think, respectfully, there's a little bit of recency bias going on here. To put Steph Curry in the top 10 is debatable. To scoot him to 7 is insanity. That's insanity. And I mean that respectfully. Now, again, I'm going to put out my list soon. But there is no... Sorry, I thought it was my dream girl. It's not. It was an email. But there's no way. Yeah, bro, you're tweaking. I get it. They just won, but you're tweaking. And nobody's saying anything in the comments, which is kind of crazy to me too. But you're tweaking. You're tweaking. You're tweaking. You're tweaking out, bro. 7 is nuts. I'm going to let you try and explain why, but 7 is nuts. Bill Russell at 9 is nuts. I don't want to give too many more critiques because I'm going to drop my list. And I ain't even really put that much thought into it yet, but man, I ain't even gonna say it. Now I'm gonna just leave it there. But this is a little nuts, Jimmy. This is a little nuts.
Top 10 player of all time, and this season has cemented his spot on this list. Every all-time player has won with their respective organizations. This is a definitive requirement of greatness. But only a few players made such a massive impact that the success of an entire franchise began and ended with them. Tim Duncan introduced winning basketball to San Antonio. They couldn't win before he got there, and they haven't won since he left. Michael Jordan didn't just win with the Bulls. He was the Bulls. Stephen Curry isn't just winning in a Warriors jersey. He is the Golden State Warriors. In 2009, he came into a struggling franchise, and over the last 13 seasons, he has turned them into a behemoth. See, it's one thing to come into a franchise.
I wonder what Shaq would think if you putting him over Shaq.
DNA. It is a completely different accomplishment to be drafted to a franchise that has never even sniffed the title and turned them into a dynasty.
Wow.
Russell did it, Mike did it, Duncan did it, and Steph has spent the last decade doing it as well. But you don't have to watch Steph tear your favorite team apart to see his generational impact. Steph is as important to the Warriors' success as any player has ever been to any team in NBA history. Here's a chart of the top 10 players all time and how many wins they added to their respective teams over the course of their entire career. For example, throughout Wilt Chamberlain's career, his team won 7.5% more when he played versus when he didn't play. Shaq's teams won 15% more when he played versus when he was sitting out.
See, I don't like this.
Above 10%
I don't like
incredible,
stuff like this.
and nearly all of these players are far above that threshold.
I don't like stuff like this.
When Kobe played, the Lakers won 21.5% more games.
I don't like stuff like this. I don't like stuff like this. I don't like when we try and get too analytical, because for every good analytic, there's a corresponding bad analytic. Like, come on, if we want to talk about Kobe's 21% plus 21%, we could talk about his ball usage, his fucking missed field goals. Like, come on, I don't want to get too analytical with it. But if we were to get analytical with it, then I understand how he could be above Shaq. But if we're giving shit, and I wasn't even really alive for the Shaq era, like I didn't even really feel that shit. But I think above Shaq is crazy. That's crazy to me. To me. I know that Steph Curry changed the game. I don't know if he changed the game more than Shaq. We'll see. It's looking like he probably changed it for longer. Man, that is a tough one. That is a tough one, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. And if we want to be honest, one-on-one, Allen Iverson is beating Stephen Curry. I don't give a fuck about no stats. I give a fuck about no rings. You put Allen Iverson one-on-one against Stephen Curry, Allen Iverson is winning, right or wrong. I'm just asking y'all watching this, right or wrong. I'm a live chat. I'm really just asking a live chat. Live chat, right or wrong. Y'all gonna say wrong because y'all riding Curry like crazy. But y'all know good and well you put Allen Iverson against Curry one-on-one, it'll get spooky. So it's just, I don't know. I'm pissed is basically what I'm saying.
Larry Bird led to the direct result of the Celtics winning 22.8% more games. And, of course, the two players that had the largest impact on their team's success are Michael Jordan, and with a large gap above everyone else, LeBron James. But the most important, most impactful, game-changing player for any franchise in the history of the NBA is Stephen Curry. The Warriors win over 32% more games.
That's because he set the whole shit out, bro. He set it out. He was scared to play. There's no way that I can sit here and give him credit for this when I've watched there be times when the Warriors were ass and Curry could have been playing and he decided not to play because they were ass. That's like putting Kawhi on this list. Stop it. If you're not going to play all the time when you're healthy, bro, stop. Stop, bro. Stop. There was literally viral clips going around of Stephen Curry hitting I remember vividly of 33s in a row. Well, he was supposed to be injured. He was the one-on-ones and he was supposed to be injured. He didn't want to go out there. He didn't want to go out there, man. You're not better than LeBron, Steph Curry. Stop it. Stop it, yo. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Versus when he's not.
Stop it.
That is the equivalent of Steph adding an additional 26 wins for the Warriors over the course of each regular season of his entire career, just by himself. But this isn't some sort of theoretical impact found by just using numbers. We have seen, with our own eyes, just how lost the Warriors are without Steph. 2 years ago, just 5 games into the Warriors season, Steph broke his hand and was sidelined for the remainder of the season.
That's a lie.
And in that season, the Warriors weren't just bad. They weren't just one of the worst teams in the NBA.
He could have played, man.
They were literally, by far, the worst team in the entire league.
Y'all don't want to admit it. Y'all don't want to admit it. Y'all gonna call me a hater. Y'all gonna call me a hater.
Well,
y'all gonna call me a hater.
No matter
y'all gonna call me a hater.
Regardless of how the roster changes around him, Steph remains at the center of one of the greatest dynasties.
And I would have fucked that stat up that he's talking about.
The Warriors should have never won this.
But it's all good. Don't worry about it.
This title was not in the cards for them.
Don't worry about it.
A long shot at best. Just 10 years ago, it was almost unanimously agreed upon that a team could not win a championship off of three-pointers and jump shots. It was believed that you could not win a title with a point guard doing the heavy lifting for your offense. 2015 was a fluke. 2016 was a blown lead. The next two, well, those don't really count, right? They had Kevin Durant. All they do is shoot threes. They'll never win too small. They're injury prone. The Warriors aren't even a team. They're getting old. Be a finals.
I wouldn't bet against us.
Alright, anything I say at this point is just going to sound like, hey, well, anything I've said in this video sounds like, hey, so I don't even know why I'm worried about that. This video is long enough, I paused it enough, I ranted enough. Yeah, I'm irritated. This is not at all what I thought this was going to be. You guys go check out Jimmy. Go check out Jimmy. I thought this might have been something about how John Morant got injured and the Warriors shouldn't have won. I didn't know that this was going to be placing Steph Curry number 7 on the list. Wow. And none of you guys sent me this video. I literally just baited myself. Shout out to my TV downstairs baiting me. So I'm pissed. I'm out of here.